goes. Here we go. And we're back. The head dancing, the neck twerking. It's back. It's Thursday. And I'm Joe Carducci, and I'm joined by my friend Majid Patel in Brooklyn, Dad Defiant. The Joe and BDD show was on a bit of a
hiatus.
It was like we had to do this on Substack only last week.
We were on a break. We were on a break.
Not really.
Friends fans will know that.
Friends will know that. But we're here today. It's another day ending in Y. So as Tara Setmayer says, there's a fire hose of fuckery to contend with. As per usual. Hi, Brooklyn, and hi to everybody in the chat.
How about them Knicks? That is what I have to add to this conversation. How about them?
I mean, can we just? We love the Knicks, and I think a lot of people who may not have been paying close attention to basketball necessarily, that they are like, this is a team that is likable. This is a team that is lovable. This Jalen Brunson, I will say this is the hero we need right now, not the bobblehead version, the real Jalen Brunson.
Right.
Jalen Brunson. If you haven't seen it, it's on my Twitter. I'll try and share it with Substack. Jalen Brunson's story is truly one of triumph and like personal, just doing the work. Like,
they said he was too small,
too slow, not strong enough, not big enough. Jalen Brunson, pound for pound, as Josh Hart would say, is one of the best players in all of basketball. The man is a playmaker. He's a strategic genius, and he just finds a way. I love this story because it's one of resilience. And it's, like, go ahead and count me out. Go ahead. Watch. And last night was an incredible game. It was a journey, man. That was a roller coaster.
Yeah, we were so Joe and I were texting during the show, and she was like, I can't with this game. She was stressed. And I said, look, ever since the Knicks came back from a 22-point deficit against I think it was the Cavs that we just played, right? That we just dusted off.
We've gone through two teams now.
Yeah, but there was a 22-point deficit. And ever since then, I was like, I will never doubt you guys again. Never. And so we were down last night by 14. And I held fast, even as we saw our man Brunson fall not once but twice, once for his knee, the other time for his ankle. So
that was giving me, I was breathing heavy. I was really freaked out because I was like, please, can we have one good thing? Like, do not take our guy out this way. He is the heart and soul of the team. I mean, Josh Hart is all Cat. I love them all. And it's a really, and I don't hate the Spurs. I think Wemby is incredible. I think that's a very young team. They have a very long future ahead of them. Let's get this one. And by the way, fun fact, just sidebar, the last time the New York Knicks were ahead in the NBA Finals was June 17th, 1994, which also happened.
Against the Rockets? Don't bring that shit up.
No, it was was it the Rockets?
Yeah, it was. That was the summer of OJ.
But that was the day of the Bronco chase. And the reason I know that is because it's also my birthday. But also, I was in New York City for the Rangers ticker tape parade, because that's the last time the Rangers had won the Stanley Cup, and the first time they'd won it since 1940. So the last time the New York Knicks were ahead in the NBA Finals was June 17th, 1994, same day as the O.J. Simpson Bronco chase.
Wait, the Rangers have not won a cup since the 90s? It's terrible.
Dude, they went 50 years without one.
Well, yes, this is true. So the Knicks have not won a championship since 73 and have not even been to the finals since 1999. And that is why I take issue with the fact that Donald Trump says that he wants to attend Game 3, that would be the first home game for the Knicks on Monday. And I have issue with that because, like, dude, it's not about you. You understand that you can't even visit your own Trump Tower without people booing you into oblivion, right? So naturally, you show up and you're going to change the whole vibe in the garden. they're going to boo your ass into infinity. They are going to
Mhm.
do it. And if they do, if your ass shows up, I will record that and that will become my ringtone, that booing, right? But
Yeah.
please don't. Just don't. If you
It
truly love the Knicks,
Mhm.
don't make it about yourself. Understand that we will boo you until your ancestors feel it. That's how hard you will be booed, right? Don't
Yeah.
do it.
Start spreading the booze. But this is the thing, this is the problem. There are a couple
It's good.
problems. There's a couple problems. The owner of MSG is a huge fucking Trumper. Another fucking problem is Donald Trump is a huge fucking narcissist, and in his pathology, in his DNA, to make things about himself, especially things that are about triumph, especially things that are a genuine accomplishment of an excellent team and an excellent sport, an excellent matchup. He needs the story to be about himself. He needs the oxygen to belong to only him, so he knows. And also, by the way, something that is a deep wound for Trump is that New York never accepted him. New York never embraced him. Even though he was born and raised in New York, he was never a New Yorker. New Yorkers don't think of him as one of their own. Just like,
Mhm.
people in Hollywood never accepted him. So he's like he does with everything, he's going to try and force New York. He's going to force himself upon New York. He's going to grab it by the garden and he's going to walk away saying, "They love me. It was tremendous. You heard the crowd. They never had a crowd bigger. They all came to see me. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you."
Yeah, that's actually the same thing that he's doing with the 250th
Uh-huh.
anniversary of America. Like, do you think that only Republicans want to celebrate the 250th anniversary? If you think that, you're wrong because Democrats, non-affiliated people, people who just live here, people who love this country, we all want to join in the fun. So why because you're failing freedom, what was that thing where, like, Milli
America
Vanilli dropped
250.
out?
Oh, yeah,
What's it
yeah.
called?
The Great
Uh,
Barbecue or some bullshit. The Cook
yeah,
County
that
Fair.
every artist, when they found out that Trump wanted to put his stank on it, they're like,
Mhm.
"Oh, no, 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 no," and they pulled out. So now he says, instead of that, we're gonna cancel that, and your favorite president will be, giving a speech." And that's not true because if he were, President Biden, or President Obama, take your pick, would be up there making a speech. But they wouldn't do it because they don't wanna make it about themselves. This
Right.
is America. It's America's, anniversary, doggone it.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Well, you
Stop
heard
being
that
so selfish.
what happened with that, right? Like, so he they didn't want they were the acts signed up to do something that's called America 250. Donald Trump's thing is Freedom 250. They're not actually the same. The America 250 thing was established by Congress in 2016 for this 250th, and they
Mm,
signed up for that. And then Trump came in and all the stuff is branded. He's making money. It's all a grift. All of that goes into his pockets, and they were like, "No, no, 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 hold on a minute. That's not what we signed up for." And so the whole thing was a bait and switch, and every penny of this stupid Freedom 250 will be going into Donald Trump's coffers like everything else that he does right now. I mean, they're funneling $90 million, I think, from our national parks. So if you go into a national park right now, your dollars are going towards Donald Trump's bullshit Freedom 250.
mm.
Mhm.
Mm. Oh, also speaking of which, the national parks, so people who there's some people who get like an access card to the
Oh god,
parks.
yeah.
You know that, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm about to say, right?
Yeah.
So those access cards, I think it probably costs money, right? You have to sign up for it, and then you gain access to all the different national parks. Well, people didn't like the fact that, of course, he had to put his face on it the same way he wants his face on a non-existent $250 bill, on passports, on everything, because the guy who brags about grabbing women by the pahizi,
Mhm.
of course, he wants to put his face on everything. But so people started covering up his picture on their cards with like pictures of Snoopy or pictures of a turd, anything. And now there's a fine. You have to pay a fine if if park employees see the card with his face covered.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Sam, I just
Di-
sent it to you. Yeah. Yeah. I think it actually invalidates the pass, I think is what I heard, that
Yeah,
if
it's so
you take his
stupid.
face off, yeah, and you and I haven't talked about this, but we did have a small victory. A judge ruled that he has to take his stupid fucking name off of, JFK's memorial, the Kennedy Center, which is just so gross, and he's so angry. There's 2 things that happened last week that really tripped him, man, like, he's crashing out over everybody bailing on that stupid concert and this thing with the Kennedy Center, and it's like, those 2 things, he melted down all weekend long. He spent the entire weekend shit posting craziness.
Oh, but wait, there's more. There's more. Last night there
Yeah,
was a war powers resolution that passed, which four, count them, one, two, three, four, Thomas Massey, Brian Fitzpatrick, who's the other two
I've
guys?
got that graphic.
Warren Davidson and Tom Barrett. Four Republicans joined Democrats to come to a 215 to, I want to say 208 or 207 vote. There it is. That's the Midas touch thing. Yeah, I literally just finished reading that. So they joined in to stop him from declaring war on whomever he wants, whenever he wants. Now, it's not binding. Somebody told me yesterday it is not a binding thing. It's uh I think in order for it to be binding, I think it has to go through the Senate. Uh
It
mm,
does it have to have, like, 60 votes in the Senate?
something
Oh,
like that. It's got to
shit.
be like veto proof. And I mean that is a steep hill to climb, but it's not impossible, right?
No, but there is some silver lining there, right? Because what that signals is a little bit more movement, in that cult of a party away from
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Um, and honestly, like, again, these are not heroes. This is not profiles in courage, but I will take movement away from them because that's all that it takes to end this nightmare. Is it takes a handful of them, Republicans, to stand up, people who know better, and say no more. This is just a
Mhm.
bridge too far. Well, look, it happened with the $1.8 billion cop beater fund,
Ah,
where
yeah.
enough Republicans, granted that was blocked by a judge too, but Republicans were shutting everything down.
Mhm.
Reconciliation, funding for ICE and Homeland Security, they were holding all that up because the Republicans, including Fitzpatrick, were like, uh-uh. This is not going to fly.
Yeah.
And so they can do it. They are capable of it. And when they do it, they can actually accomplish shit, but we just need to encourage more of them to do it.
What's interesting to observe, first of all, is that like so last night's vote, the war powers thing, right? Fox News was trying to brand it as GOP led House passed this thing. Uh-uh. No, it was all Democrats and four
Yeah.
Republicans. Don't
Yeah.
get it twisted, right? You don't
Yeah. Fuck.
GOP does not get credit for this. In fact, all of the major things that have happened legislatively have
Mhm.
happened because Democrats put our shoulders into it, right? Like
Mm.
the whole Epstein thing. Sure, Thomas Massey was instrumental
Yeah.
in helping, but did he bring, all of the Republicans along with him? No, he was the outcast. He was one of the people that Donald Trump is attacking. So, yeah, they don't the Democrats are leading with a minority, right? We are
Mm.
getting shit done. When you need something done, remember this, folks. When you need something done, it's Democrats that will get it done. Can the Republican Party point to any past legislation that's significant that helps the American people, other than the big ugly bill that only helps billionaires?
Mhm.
Can anybody?
Mm-mm.
I don't think so.
No, which is why, and in part, why they know that the midterms are gonna be an absolute train wreck for them. God willing, we have free and fair elections. I mean, no matter what the Supreme Court is doing, no matter what all the gerrymanders, that they're up to. By the way, Supreme Court's okay with it in Alabama, but not in Virginia. In Alabama, they didn't vote
Hmm,
for it, but they did in Virginia. Go make sense of that.
I
Um,
can't.
yeah, no, it's gonna be a shellacking. for Republicans in November, and they know that because they
Mhm.
haven't done anything for the American people. They keep telling everybody that gas prices will come down, that the economy is doing better, that core inflation, Besant was on the Hill today, core inflation, that's lower. That's lower than it was. That nobody gives a fuck. Besant, nobody gives a fuck about core inflation. They give a fuck about the fact that it costs a mortgage payment to fill up their gas tanks in their cars and trucks. That's what they care about. They care about the price of things. Everything is more expensive for everything. I went to buy shrimp like at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Not the frozen bag, which is also fine. I was gonna get the nice clean ones and the
The
seafood counter.
circle?
No,
The
no,
the
a circle
circle of
has its own
shrimp?
place though. But man, the
I
circle's a
love the
little sad.
circles.
They're flaccid, man. But no, they're like, they're like 15, 20, you count, whatever. Peeled and
Oh,
clean
okay.
shrimp. Uh $29.99 a pound for
Oof,
shrimp.
what?
Shrimp. I was like, what? Yes. Twenty nine
What
ninety
the
five a pound, 99 a pound for shrimp. Everything is more expensive. Everything, and it's just going to keep going up in a war that Marco Rubio said again in front of Congress is over. A war
He
that has
lied.
ended.
He lied
He sure
twice.
did.
Twice. Twice he lied, right? First, he lied about that thing. I want to say it was either Monday or Tuesday when he said what you said.
Mm-hmm.
He said
It was
the
Monday.
war is over, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like almost if this it couldn't have been more perfectly timed if it were like a skit from a comedy show because the like almost like the minute he said it, it was like
That night.
bombs started dropping like within an hour after he said that. And then yesterday, when Ted Lieu, I love Ted Lieu, man.
Me
Ted
too.
Lieu doesn't get enough props.
I love him too.
That brother is on point, but also hilarious, right? And he knows if that dude has you in his sights, you better hide.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
he already had the video queued up. I
Mm-hmm.
wish you guys in Congress would follow Ted Lieu's lead,
Yeah.
have your shit ready to go because it's not hard to catch these guys in lies, right? So there was Marco Rubio saying Donald Trump never falls asleep. He was like, "Oh yeah, roll the videotape." And then he lied again. And he said, no, that's not, he didn't fall asleep. And he said, let's play another video. This is him right next to you as you are speaking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's hilarious, and it's so Orwellian because, like,
Oh my
don't believe
God.
your own lying eyes. Like, you're not seeing what you're seeing, and he brings the receipts, and Rubio continues to lie through it. I mean, the whole thing is just absolutely absurd. Rubio lied about his shoes. He said that the Florsheim shoes we've all seen, brother. Come on, we could fit another Marco Rubio
Oh
in those
my God.
shoes. And he said they fit fine. They fit great. Come, like we don't have eyes. Um, that's what you do have to do. But Marco Rubio is such a slippery motherfucker. I have called him the weathercock of weathercocks in this party for a long time because
Mhm.
his complete reversal on Donald Trump is honestly it makes your head spin because he was one Lindsey Graham, Ted Cruz, but Marco was one of the most vocal critics of Donald Trump and regularly called him out for being the
Yeah.
con man that he was and said that that we'll pay a price if our party shackles ourselves to this guy. And now look
Mhm.
at him. And honestly,
Yeah.
I used to think maybe he had, more sense than the rest of them. I don't think so at all now. I think maybe smarter, but he's disgusting. I mean, so craven, and the proximity to power, he sold his soul. He sold his soul.
Mm. I'm going to be taking turns with like spending 1 week just beating up on Marco Rubio and then the next week beating up on JD Vance because both of those two, right?
Yes.
The funny thing about that, I don't know if you saw it, you must have seen something about this, was that um, Trump apparently said that he's not feeling JD Vance as his successor. And actually, he appeared to be leaning more towards Marco Rubio.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah,
yeah. Go ahead, because
that's
Tara got an email.
That's hilarious. To me, that's hilarious as hell. Now, with that said, the fact that he is not feeling someone could actually be an endorsement of of
Yeah.
sorts, because people that Donald Trump says he likes, that should be a red flag. If Donald Trump
Mhm.
says he's a good guy, then that's bad. That's the kiss of death, I think.
Which should terrify us about our Secretary of everything, Rubio, because what is Rubio doing?
Generalissimo of Cuba.
What?
Oh, he put up this comment from
Oh,
Greg
Generalissimo of
Edmonds. It
Cuba.
says Rubio will eat any ship Trump feeds him if he can be Generalissimo of Cuba.
That's the thing. Like, he has to have shown Trump not only that he's feckless and that he's a taint-sucking sycophantic loser, who will do anything Trump says, but he's got to be comfortable, cozy enough with the corruption. And I think that that's one of the big distinguishers right now. I think that they're all on the take, and that's what Trump wants to
Mm,
surround himself with, people who are, and so that Donald Trump never looks guilty by by the crowd, the company that he keeps. I don't know what the hell Marco Rubio's up to. I'm sure that it's not good, but the knives out for JD Vance are very real. There was the Susie Wiles leak where apparently she said don't go on social media anymore. He hasn't been doing that, or he was basically the vice president of trolling, and badly, by the way. Right, there was that story. There's this email that Trump's PAC sent out, uh
what's that?
glazing Marco Rubio. It was like, what do you think of Marco Rubio? You didn't submit your score for our secretaries to. Yeah, I mean, but honestly, like,
Shame.
nobody likes JD Vance. Like, nobody likes. I don't blame Trump for not liking JD Vance. Like, nobody likes fucking JD.
Yeah.
JD Vance is the Ted Cruz of, like, Lindsey Graham's. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
Like,
Oh, that's so good.
he's
You
he's
should
so
tweet that.
deeply. Yeah, he's like a sectional couch of dislikability. Easy,
That's
JD.
good. That's
Just
good
because I
stuff.
said couch, put the lotion down, okay? Put the lotion not now, JD. But see,
Yeah.
I think I'm not at all surprised. But Sam does have this clip, this Ted Lieu clip, real quick. Let's play this real fast.
That's false. I've never seen him fall asleep. On the contrary, the guy doesn't sleep, which is a big problem because he calls me at 2 in the morning. He calls me at 5 in the morning. And, I like to sleep a little bit, maybe not 12 hours, but at least 6. So he works. The other day he was at the Oval Office until
Secretary Rubio?
12:30 p.m. 12:30 a.m. I don't know what you're talking about.
Secretary Rubio, I'm going to show you in a moment a video that shows you just lied to Congress.
Oh, okay.
So this is a video of a cabinet meeting literally from last month where Donald Trump is sleeping while you are talking. Please show this video.
Coalition of countries that line up behind the peace deal, behind the border peace, and it's still every day is a challenge. But it's been driven personally by the president. It's the reason why we're involved in this whole Ukraine-Russia conflict. That's not our war. It's not the president's war. This war started. It never would have happened if you'd been president. But this war is going on, and the president is trying to end it.
You are literally talking about issues of war and peace, and Donald Trump is sleeping right next to you.
No, he's not.
If Donald Trump cannot stay awake at these important meetings where the cameras are rolling, imagine what he's like when the cameras are not there. So I'm going to ask you, have you been at classified meetings where Donald Trump has fallen asleep or had trouble staying awake?
I've never been at any meeting where, and the things you're showing me now, he was not falling asleep.
Good Lord.
The denial is deep.
Oh
It,
my
it
God.
runs. Yeah.
Again, like, don't believe your own eyes. It's 1984.
Yeah, it's such a bizarre turnaround, because as you mentioned earlier about how Marco Rubio used to be like one of the main guys who was out there warning people what a charlatan Donald Trump was. He wasn't
Mhm.
the only one. You also mentioned earlier, like JD Vance is the Lindsey Graham of whatever. So Lindsey Graham was another one. He was the guy who infamously posted that tweet: "If we nominate Donald Trump, our party will be destroyed and we'll deserve it." Right.
Mhm.
Lindsey Graham was vehemently against the guy he called a xenophobic bigot. And what a bizarre, just pathetic fall from grace that guy is engaged in. He is now the chief ball handler. That is his official title, ball handler of Donald Trump. And so I bring that up because at some point we're going to be discussing that $1.8 billion slush fund, right? That it looks like Trump has kind of backed off of, but hasn't, because Todd Blanche will not commit to putting it in writing that it is dead and gone. And even Donald Trump won't. Donald Trump, as of yesterday, didn't even know that that it was supposedly dead and gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Lindsey Graham was in favor. I don't know if you know this. He was in
Mhm.
favor of that fund um, staying alive because I think he thought he was going to be a beneficiary
Yeah.
of some monies. He feels like he's owed some millions from it.
Tommy Tuberville too. But what I think real fast, and then we are going to get to a different bigoted xenophobe by the name of Andy Ogles.
Mm,
What I think is happening is that he did not ever care, because he doesn't care about giving any of those rabid friggin' feral cavemen money, because he wasn't going to pardon them in the beginning. He got a lot of pressure to he could have pardoned them after January 6th in 2021. He could have done it then and
yep.
didn't. So I don't think he ever cared about rewarding them financially. I think that was all a grift and a vehicle. What all I ever cared about was this IRS audit thing. That's the other thing that is not currently suspended, and Todd Blanche will not talk about and will not say they're not going to do it. So as it stands at the moment, Donald Trump and all of his family members, all of his children and all of their spouses are forever immune from any kind of tax audit, which is insane. Like insane.
Yeah.
Even Republicans are calling this shit out because that's insane.
Hmm.
Sean Ryan, he had Megyn Kelly on the other day, and both of them are,
Yeah.
I'm just so disappointed. I feel like I was conned.
Who
My
saw it
subtext about
coming?
that today, right? Who could have imagined that leopard would eat my face? But even Sean Ryan is like, what is this? His kids, they're all immune from tax audits forever. And by the way,
Hmm.
he was already being audited, and it would have cost him somewhere in the neighborhood of $100 million. So that still exists. The
Yeah.
potential for that immunity still exists. And I think at the end of the day, that's what that whole thing was about. I think he wrapped it up in this idea of helping people who were hurt by the government, so that it looked like it was some endeavor for the people, but it's not. It's really all about Donald Trump.
It's actually interesting that the timing of this $1.8 billion slush fund, which actually is 1.776 billion to be precise, because of course
Yeah.
1776.
Mhm.
But the timing is suspect, considering that I don't know if you saw Ivanka's video the other day where she
Mhm.
announces that she's buying an island for
Uh-huh.
billionaires,
Yep.
for people who just want to. She says she doesn't even consider it a business. It's just a thing for people who want to live the way they want to live, or some kind of insanely tone deaf shit that I've
Yeah.
ever heard.
Mhm.
Um, First of all, you're talking about an island for billionaires, and you don't even have like the self-awareness that your dad is all over the files,
Yeah.
connected to a guy who had a billionaire who
Uh-huh.
had an island, right? You want to associate those two words more? Billionaire island?
And I and
You want
mm. God knows, and an
unreal.
island with bunkers, because it was a base or something during the Cold War. But let's Sam's got to go in 15, so let's move on to this Andy Ogles thing, because this
Yes,
pisses me off, because you mentioned bigoted xenophobes.
xenophobe.
Yeah, Andy Ogles. Some of his greatest hits include tweeting that Muslims have no place in America. And the other day on his official Twitter account, he
Hmm.
posted, let's put it up. Homosexuality has no place in America. Happy Nuclear Family Month. That's on the second day of Pride Month. This is his official account.
Hmm.
That's what he put up, and he put it up thinking. I mean, we know this. I'm so cool. I'm not woke. I'm gonna own the libs, and I'm gonna leave it there,
Hmm.
just like he did with the Muslim thing, and then he doubled down on it. But he was not met with applause. He was not met with cheers. He was met with quite the opposite from his
Yeah.
party too. Even some of the biggest assholes in the Republican Party were like, this is not
Ooh,
okay.
really?
Well, Lawler, Ted Cruz, I believe, was asked about it. It's like, wow. Yeah.
Ted
So
Cruz, boy.
right. I know. Well, I think that they're also reading the tea leaves right now and looking at the midterms. They're like, we don't need any more of this shit right now. Let's not. Can we not do ourselves any more disservice by making this our brand, even though it is?
let's be real though. Let's be real. This is culture wars, and that is literally all Republicans have.
Right.
That's all they have is culture wars. Let's homosexuality
That's
exists
Lawler.
in America. Okay, so you know why? Mike Lawler is the New York Republican, right? So New York Republicans actually they have to seem a little less insane than the rest of the overall party, just because it's a mixed constituency, right?
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
think the public outcry on this one, though, I think because it was so explicit and because it was the second day of Pride Month, I think Republicans, even outside of Lawler's district, like I said, Ted Cruz and others, were like, no, no, we don't need this shit right now. Like you, on top of everything that we're failing you on. So Ogles, who refused to take down the Muslim one. So then we see this. Nothing to see here. The tweet goes gone. Bye bye. No tweet. And so this is what he says. Earlier today, while working on the farm, my phone rang. My phone began going crazy because of a post made by a member of my comms team. The post was stupid, hurtful, and a complete distraction from my America First focus. The employee has been reprimanded. So now let's play the next clip, which I think Sam has, hopefully, of him being asked about this reprimanded comms team member today.
He's working on his farm, huh?
Working on
So
Yeah.
about that tweet, mate, I wanted to ask you about the tweet. You're saying that a comms guy or girl accidentally sent something out, and
Well, I can't say that they accidentally sent it out, but they sent out a tweet which was absolutely inappropriate.
Right.
Which is why I had to take it down.
what did you do to reprimand them?
That's an HR issue, which
Okay.
I can't really
To the
discuss.
staffer
I just want to ask, do you
Such
think a
bullshit.
reprimand is sufficient? Like, if that's not in keeping with your worldview, saying something like that, do you think a reprimand is sufficient punishment for a staffer doing that?
You know, I think it's a great question. It's under review. I mean, one of my good friends was hurt by that tweet,
Oh, who's that?
understandably. With that being said, the staffer does a fantastic job 99.9% of the time. They made a mistake, so the question is, what are the next steps?
Come
Is
on.
the staffer in the room with us now?
Did you see the staffers in the elevator? Did you see their faces? They were all laughing.
No.
They were all laughing. The girl started. They were all laughing.
So full of shit.
Yeah. Watch.
Oh, it's Sam taking us back.
Watch. She starts. Look at him.
Oh,
Look at that one.
yeah.
Come on. Come on.
That's
Come
funny.
on. Come on. Give me like he was caught the second the question was asked. You saw his face. He was like, "Come on. Like, come on. Like you think we're born
So
yesterday?"
cowardly. It's
Yeah.
first of all, it's cowardly, right? For the party that pretends to be
Right.
all about personal responsibility,
Yeah.
and it's always the same. Even with Trump, when he gets pushed back like that, that video that he posted on True Social that had Obama and Barack and Michelle Obama as apes, right? He eventually blamed that on some mysterious staffer. How is it that these staffers have all this control over, the
Yeah.
communications service of the most powerful person on the planet, right? How is that,
Right. Here you go. Yeah.
Ted Cruz, yeah.
I mean, again, you're
Shocking.
like, wow, what do they know? Because like they know they're vulnerable as hell right now, and like they're all sticking their necks out on this one. But it was again, it was the response was overwhelming. Like people were just like, "Are you shitting me?" It's so explicit. It's so saying the quiet part out loud. But the thing is, it speaks to a lot of things. And I wrote about this the other day because the calculation on his part was that enough people would be like, "Fuck yeah, I hate those rainbow flags. I don't want to deal with going
Mhm.
into Target anymore and being hit in the face with dinosaur T-shirts that have flags on them, and I'm scared of your rainbows." And he thought they're gonna love this, honestly, because
Mhm.
in the past that calculation has actually worked out, and he wouldn't have been wrong. The Muslim one that he posted and didn't deny still exists in the world.
So how I don't. So I guess because I understand the whole conversation around LGBTQ, I do understand why they why he had to back down on the homosexuality thing. But if we're having a discussion about culture wars, right? Um, there has not been one speech, one press briefing that Trump has given in which he has not uttered the words, "We got rid of men and women's sports," or
Mhm.
transgender mutilization. He
Mutualization.
says that in every single
Mhm.
press briefing, every single speech. So that is also bigoted stuff. It is
Mhm.
100% bigoted. So why is there a divide now? It's okay to it's okay to be pro uh homosexuality, but it is not in vogue to be pro trans. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
the T in LGBTQ,
Right.
is part of that whole community, and that
Mhm.
community is still vulnerable. Those
Right.
are still vulnerable people who can be discriminated against at will in a Republican led administration.
Eh,
So yeah, I just think it's
and they
important to
are.
point out the hypocrisy, right?
Yeah.
It's blatant hypocrisy, and they're only doing it to save their asses, but they're still, at the end of the day, they're still bigots, and don't make any mistake about it. Don't give them any brownie points for
No.
telling Andy Ogles to take his hate-filled comment down.
Again, like you're exactly right because the rot in this rotten fish is it starts at the top, and Donald
Mhm.
Trump has modeled the most transphobic, homophobic on many occasions, bigoted, racist, sexist, xenophobic rhetoric of any president we've ever had consistently.
Yeah.
And in many ways, that's the original sin of Donald Trump is that he gave people license to be their worst selves, things that they used to feel ashamed to say out loud because people would judge them harshly. He told them, "No, you're right. You should celebrate that.
Mhm.
This is cancel culture. You should be able to say these horrible things, and you should be able to act on these horrible things." And he's always been that way. And it's again one of the most insidious parts about MAGA, so it's very disingenuous for somebody like Ted Cruz to be tweeting shit like that while perfectly fine with Donald Trump's consistent attacks on, like you said, one of the most vulnerable communities in this country, which is the trans community. We've seen what that looks like. We've seen them murdered. We've seen them attacked. And it's all boogeyman dog whistle shit. And it's not rooted in reality, but it doesn't matter because the people it reaches can do real life harm. So if Republicans really wanted to stand up against the ugliness in Andy Ogle's tweet, they would go at Trump, but it's not safe to go at Donald Trump. They can go at Andy
Mhm.
Ogles because it's just a low level congressman. So it's just so fucking hypocritical. And honestly, you're right. We should be calling them out on that shit. It's like, okay, Ted, start there, keep going, but he won't.
Yeah. Yeah, and not only should we call them out on that, we should call them out and say, "Why are you focused on this bullshit instead of being focused on affordability?" Fun fact, today is day 500. You believe that? We've lived through 500 days of his second
No
freaking
way.
administration. Yeah, 500.
Jesus God.
Um, yeah, it's 500 days since he said that he would lower prices on day one,
Hmm.
right?
Mhm.
Now I am paying more for everything than I
Mhm.
was 500 days ago, right? Since his idiotic tariffs, since his illegal war of choice in Iran, all of these boneheaded, stupid moves that he has done unilaterally without any um, uh,
Authority.
authorization from Congress. And
Mhm.
Congress is elected by us. So basically, authorization from us. He did all these things that jacked our prices up. You were saying that what's his face? Andy
This is
Ogles
oh,
said he was on his farm. What kind of farming were you doing with the fertilizer that is now prices are through the roof?
he was doing
Fertilizer
engagement
is
farming is
through
what
the
he was
roof
doing.
because of the fucking war in Iran, and the strait is closed. Huh? What so let's talk about um affordability. Let's talk about accountability, right? How is it that you guys, you Republicans, understand that he cannot run for office again, and you're still letting him lead you around by the nose instead of putting him in check. That's your fucking job. That is what we elected you to do, be checks and balances. And you are letting him, he is so pathetic. He's holding up signs of or picture of James Tallarico in the White House looking like Alfred E. Newman. It's so juvenile. This is the guy that you are letting determine your political future, because there's nothing. He has nothing. He has fear mongering. He has culture wars, and that is it.
Yeah, he has the cult still. And that's the thing. This is all about cowardice. This is all about knowing that if he wants to get them out of Congress, like he did with Thomas Massie, he made Marjorie Taylor Greene leave Congress. I mean, he didn't force her out. She knew what was coming, because what came for Thomas Massie would have come for her too. But the thing is, at the end of the day, what are you doing in Congress if you're not going to stand on your principles? Like, if you're not actually going to put your constituents first, and you're going to kowtow to somebody like Donald Trump, who is, like you said, never going to be on another ballot, at least constitutionally. It's just fecklessness, and it's pathetic, and it's the opposite of what public service is supposed to be about. But we're going to pivot real fast to close with something funny, because Hunter Biden. Look, love him, hate him. He's definitely a mixed bag. I don't love that he went on Candace Owens' show. I don't love a lot of the choices the Bidens are making right now. And Lord knows I love me some Biden. Not as much as our friend Chris Jackson, but I love me some Bidens. But Hunter Biden, in case you missed it, has been tweeting some of the funniest shit I've seen on that app in a long time. Oh my God. Okay, so this is a troll saying, bullshit, that was your bag of coke in the White House, Hunter Biden. It most definitely was not. I would never have forgotten my drugs. Hilarious.
So good. Holy
Sam,
shit. He got 233,000 likes on that
Oh,
reply.
he's killing it. So let me
That's
get this
insane.
straight. Jake Tapper's focused on attacking my mom. Jared and Ivanka are building a private island paradise on Albanian protected land. You've seen those protests too, by the way, I think. Don Jr. married the daughter of Epstein's banker, and a startup his fund backs just got a record $620 million Pentagon loan. He goes on to say, like, you want to talk about my paintings? You want to talk about me selling some paintings? And then, oh, well, okay. And I know, but what about your paintings, Hunter? Please. Okay. So the response to that is, you sound bitter for someone who benefited from a stolen erection. And Hunter's response, I've never stolen an erection in my life. I mean, there are more. There are so many more. Like, he's killing it. And what's on your laptop, Hunter? Go look for yourself, Ashley. It's been available to anyone and everyone since it was hacked and stolen years ago. Have you been living under a rock? I'd rather live under a rock than smoke it. Me too. It was awful. Well, damn, Hunter, that makes me sad. Glad you're off that stuff. Hope you can stay clean. You deserve a better life than you were living. Good luck. Yeah. Oh, I don't think I saw this one. Hunter, I'd vote for you. But even if you're sober, I'd vote for you. But even if you're sober, which is great, I would require at least one crack joke campaign ad to pledge my loyalty. I wait your response. How about let's take another crack with a Biden? His tool needs work, but the possibilities are endless. I mean,
That's so good.
That one is a fatality. Yeah. And look, like, whatever. Again, we're all flawed in some way, shape, or form. My brother unfortunately succumbed to drug addiction. You are one of those heroes who was able to overcome drug addiction. Hunter is 7 years clean right now. I think we should absolutely celebrate that on every level for everybody across the board, across the political spectrum. And we need a little levity right now. So I'm all for it.
Yeah. And it's tough because I remember 7 years sober. That the fact that he's able to joke about it so publicly. Like, I think after 7 years, I was still kind of raw about the whole thing. Like my life, I was still trying to put the tatters of my life back together after just 7 years. And he's doing it in a very public, but I guess also empowering way, right? Like, I don't know if you ever saw the movie 8 Mile with Eminem.
No.
So there's a great scene where he's got this battle at the end of the movie, and the guy he's going up against is really good. So what he does is he goes first, and what he does is he uses his rap part to attack himself. So he took away all the power from anything that other rapper could have possibly said, because he owned it for himself. And so that
Mhm.
was bravo to you, my brother,
Yeah.
Hunter. That was amazing stuff there. Oh, look at
Oh,
you.
look at
How is he
that.
getting this stuff here?
Oh my god, he responded to you. Holy shit,
Yeah.
you're my inspiration, brother. That's amazing.
Look,
I love
look,
that.
look, Hunter is a wonderful guy. When I was at the hospital with my dad when he was on his way, out of this world, um, Hunter called me on the
Wow.
phone on my cell, and I didn't even know he had my cell number. He got it from a mutual friend. And when when I answered the phone, I said, "Hello." He says, "Hi, Majid, this is Hunter Biden." And I hung up because I thought it was a troll. I thought it was a guy
Oh
who was just
my
like,
god.
messing with me. And then almost immediately, I got calls from two mutual friends. They're like, "Dude, Hunter Biden's trying to call you." It's like, "Oh shit, that was him." And so
Oh
he
my
called
god.
back. He called back, and he just said he wanted to reach out. He knew my dad was, you know, my dad was at the end, and so he wanted to give his express his feelings of support for my family,
I
and
love that. I didn't
that
know
was
that.
important. Yeah,
I
it was
love
really
that.
cool.
And one of the things that he said in a tweet too, somebody who went after Joe Biden's cancer diagnosis was like, I don't care if you don't like my dad or my mom or me or anything, but my dad has cancer. Like
Yeah,
this somebody was basically saying his diagnosis was bullshit or something like that. And he's like, is metastatic cancer. He's always gonna have it. We were lucky we caught it. But like, love him or hate him, like, dude, my dad's got cancer. Knock it off. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like
Be human.
there it is. It's metastatic bone cancer that spread from the prostate. They caught the bone issue quite early in with radiation and hormone therapy. It's under control, but he will live with cancer for the rest of his life. Listen, man, I understand if you don't like my dad's politics and you hate me because you believe everything Fox News has told you. I'm fine with that. But my dad has cancer. How is that an issue you want to attack? What sickness is in you that makes that fair game, Patrick?
Mm, mm,
That
mm.
sickness is what Donald Trump models, because Donald Trump has not been kind about Joe Biden's cancer diagnosis. He's not been kind to the Bidens at all. He's certainly not been kind to Hunter Biden. And he gets away with it, and no other president ever would. And by the way, just as a sidebar, when Donald Trump, whatever the fuck happened to him or didn't in Pennsylvania that day, where supposedly a bullet from an AR-15 hit his ear, Joe Biden
Oh
modeled the
yeah,
kind of leadership and empathy and concern and respect for Donald Trump that I wouldn't be able to muster, but he did
yeah.
it because that's what leaders do. And meanwhile, when people die that Donald Trump doesn't like, as in Michelle and Rob Reiner, when people get diagnoses that he doesn't like, he makes fun of
Hmm.
them and mocks them. So just difference in character. And Hunter Biden also gets a little bit of his dad's character. And I love that story. I didn't know that. It's the first time I've ever heard that from you. So that's really sweet and makes me feel good.
Yeah, it gets me all verklempt when I talk about it. So I don't talk
Yeah.
about it very often. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't care whatever anybody ever says about Hunter. He will always be okay in my book. Always.
Yeah.
And he and I have that 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 connection where we're both kind of in recovery for crack addiction, which, is just it's such a weird thing because it doesn't have the same kind of physical hold on you the way heroin does, right? And I was never on heroin, but I understand like people have to go through actual physical withdrawal to get off of that. Um, the crack thing is more of like a mental, more like a psychological thing, and it messes with your brain. The stuff that the chemicals that they put in that very harmful. And I was not okay for a long, long time. So it's just a day at a time, you put the pieces of your life back together. And the fact that he's embracing it head on by going toe to toe with these trolls. I'm done with that part of my life. Like
Hmm.
if you want to relitigate, my sobriety, like, it's you're sicker than I am. Let's put it
Yeah.
that way. So,
And I agree with you. And again, As someone who lost her brother to heroin, lost her mother to opioids, the fight that you have displayed through all of us and Hunter, and anybody who's been through it and made it to the other side or is making it to the other side, I have so much respect for. It's something I'm extremely emotional about. Say something, because I'm gonna
Thank
cry.
thank you, Joe. And it's totally fine to cry, you know. I understand, you know, you lost your brother. I'm sure you miss him. And you know, I'm sure he's looking down and he's very proud of what you've been able to accomplish, you know, and the fact that uh that you're able to keep him alive and in memory anytime you invoke his name or his memory as it relates to recovery is a powerful thing. Powerful thing. I think he would 100% uh support your tears on our show. And
Well,
I do too as well.
well, thank you, and means a lot to me. And so I didn't expect to cry. When I always when we talk about this, it gets emotional.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, but it's an inspiring note to end on, and also a funny one. So we'll be keeping an eye on what else Hunter Biden has to say, and on his journey, his health journey, and his journey of recovery. But we have to let our friend Sam go, and I gotta go clean my face. Because
Sam is the man.
Sam is the man.
How the hell is he pulling up these these tweets and clips so quickly?
He really is. It's a machine.
It's
It's a
amazing.
machine.
Yeah.
But as always, thank you to everybody in the chat. You guys are amazing. You give me so much strength, and we love having this community. We love building this community. It really means so much. This is how we get through. The only way, out is through, and the only way through is together. So, Majid, thank you. Brooklyn Dad Defiant, our friend Sam Schwartz, the man behind the curtain. We will see you guys next Thursday. I think we're going back to our OG time slot, maybe 4:30. We'll see.
Yeah.
I think that's the
Yeah,
plan.
yeah.
So stay tuned for that, and we will
Yeah.
see you next week. Bye, guys.